Alright guys, welcome back to ESA. So I'm on the credits. This was Sonic Adventure 2. Thank you guys very much for watching. Now, I'm currently just setting up a glitch to save a couple of minutes RTA through the run. This game doesn't use RTA timing, but for the sake of a marathon, I'd like to be able to save a little additional time, although the setup for this takes longer than the time it saves, so I guess it's costing time. Although the marathon's still very ahead of schedule, so it's all fine. So I'm going to take the opportunity before we start the run here to explain a trick that I'm going to be doing in the first stage.
That's better.
Thank you. So in the first stage, it's City Escape, and we have City Escape Skip. I'd like to explain it before actually being in the stage, since it comes up really quickly, and there's basically no time to do it simultaneously while explaining. I need to roll down a slope, and ideally stall my speed through a speed pad, and jump off a ramp at a very specific point. It sounds like a lot, and it all occurs within a couple of seconds, honestly. But the reason I need to stall my speed is that the speed pads in this game will actually, if you're above a certain speed, they just set you to a specific speed. So if you're above that speed, they will actually slow you down. And to trigger the skip, I need to be above the speed value that the speed pads will give me.
Yeah, so these trick ramps that he's going to use, so those are basically like semi-automated sections, and if you go into them with more speed than intended, it just flies out of the map.
And then depending on my speed and my position, once I reach the bottom of the slope and land on the speed pads, it's possible for me to connect with them in a specific way while I'm like out of bounds for 3 frames, and they'll fling me to the side while I'm still out of bounds. Basically, once I do the trick jump and I land on the speed pads, if I get zipped to the right, that's the indication that I've hit the trick. And bear in mind, this run has been done a lot of times at major in-person marathons like these at GDQs. CE skip has never been hit so far. So if I hit it, it's like the first time that this trick has been hit. And I'd especially really like to hit it since it is my birthday today. So, yep, birthday run. And for the same reason, if you guys at home want to like get me anything, I think I've got a couple of games on my Steam wishlist. No, I'm joking. If you want to do anything during my birthday, please do make a donation towards the cause. Like, that would make me very happy knowing that I'm able to help out to raise money for such a good cause. But with that, I'm ready to give my own countdown, if y'all are ready. Okay, so let's get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. All right, so starting City Escape section, we have the boarding section. This is going to be about 25-26 seconds, and pretty much all I'm going to be doing here is minimizing my cornering and trying to jump off the ramps, so that's a good start. I'm not going to reset over that, though. Not worth it at all. Okay, that ramp went wrong, so the City Escape ramp is going to go very well. I'm calling it.
Yeah, you basically want to try to hit these ramps to give you some extra speed, otherwise you just go down the slope really slowly.
Yeah. The locations of the cars are random as well, so I hit a car and couldn't really help it there, but now we get actual Sonic gameplay.
Yeah, basically what he's going to try to do there is chain his spin dashes. So he's going to charge a spin dash and then cancel it again to charge a new one. Going downhill, he rolls, and now he's doing CE skip.
Oh.
Let's see.
Yes! Let's go!
First one at a major marathon.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So because of the enough amount of speed, we actually got bad camera, so we have to deal with it. We basically use some specific visual cue to know where Sonic needs to jump.
Yeah, that one is really hard to do consistently.
Yeah, we used to have another City Escape skip strat, but recently found this one, and it's much more consistent.
So this is showing what Sonic's basic movement is going to look like throughout most of the game, you know, flying off slopes like that, and that's not really what I wanted. As with Sonic Adventure DX, the main form of movement is the spin dash, and whenever I'm going downhill, I want to just let it roll down slopes. Anytime that I'm going along flats or going uphill, I want to chain the spin dash repeatedly as much as I can, because the physics are similar to what you'd expect out of a real ball. If you roll a ball downhill, it'll accelerate. If you roll it along flat or uphill, it's going to decelerate. It's exactly the same thing. It's just that Sonic can keep spin dashing to force more acceleration gain. So yeah, since I set up the emblem skip glitch there, we don't get any emblem cutscenes after the stages. This saves around 2 minutes RTA over the course of the full run. And we come to the first boss here, Bigfoot. I'm going to try and use the front boxes to jump up and keep hitting him repeatedly, ideally on the first frame possible each time. The perfect time on this fight is 21.39. I'm not sure about that hit. That seemed a bit iffy. Alright, that was weird. I think that's probably going to be a 21.49. 50. Alright, it was 1 frame off.
Actually really good.
See, I know the pace. I always know the pace. It's consistent, don't worry.
Speaking of consistent, what comes next is not consistent.
That's, yeah, if you guys want to explain how the knuckle stages work.
Yeah, sure. So basically you have to find 3 different emerald pieces, and the game picks them randomly. Or there's some rules to it, but it's more or less random from certain pools of locations the game can pick from. And he's gonna use, he's using the first hint that you get from the hint monitor to know which location that is, and that was really good.
That's really good, yeah, getting sub 20.
Really good execution as well. Yeah, so unlike SADX, the game basically tried to not give you like piece ready each close together. When you're on SADX, you can basically get every combination layout.
Yeah, piece 1 is totally random. Piece 2 is always going to be at least moderately far away from piece 1. And then for piece 3, there's a lot of complex math that goes on determining which sets are possible. The TLDR, though, is piece 1 is random, piece 2 is far away from where you were at piece 1, and then piece 3 can, within reason, be almost anywhere. It kind of just depends.
Sometimes you can also look out for possible pieces you're not supposed to get yet, and get them early and out of order.
Yeah, because we use the hints, but if I've memorized all the hint locations, so if I see pieces hanging out on the stage, I'm just going to grab them. So here's Prison Lane. Tails is, in my opinion, definitely the hardest character to use basic movement with. One of the problems with Tails is that he doesn't conserve speed on the ground well while cornering. Yeah. So even though this stage has a lot of corners, what I'm going to be doing is jumping around as many of these corners as I can.
So this stage is very difficult to optimize speed, mostly because of the hole.
All right.
Nice backup.
See,
nice
I know the backups. I know the backups. I could see
really
that coming a mile off because I didn't really have a straight approach there. If I fell down there, that's just like an immediate 25-second death.
Yeah, if you miss that jump, you land on that little railing in front of the platform, and it kind of just like zips you to the side, and you die.
Yep. But I didn't fully commit to it, so there you go.
If
you're scared, then things will go right. So one of the main gimmicks of Prison Lane is that all these locked doors are guarded by groups of enemies, which I need to lock onto. And as you can see there, I can get some early lock-ons to open some doors early. The game, for the most part, with the lock-ons, doesn't care about if you have a direct line of sight to the enemy. It really just determines if you have a specific position. Like if you're in a specific spot, it'll let you get lock-ons on specific targets, and some of them are really odd. There's one early one I'm going to be going for in a little bit, which is quite temperamental, and if you aim in the wrong spot, it actually actively prevents you from getting the lock-on at all. So it's after I go around this next corner. Alright, got it, nice. And then 4 more through the wall to open this door. Please? Alright, there we go. There's one enemy on the ceiling there that's very important for me to get, and yeah. A bit of a shoddy Prison Lane, but like I say, Tails is hard. I haven't really had time to warm up, and all the Johns in the world, just make excuses. That'll make things better. I got CE skip, that's the only thing that matters in this run. Yeah. I'm like 30 seconds up just
There's absolutely nothing that could go wrong for the rest of the run.
Absolutely.
The rest is basically auto-scroller, right?
Yeah, basically everything should be frame perfect after CE escape, easily, including the RNG levels.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's Metal Harbor. This is the first stage where I'm going to be getting a major upgrade for the character. Sonic is going to get the light shoes, which allows him to do light dashes across trails of rings. Most of the stage is also above water, so you do actually need to move carefully through the stage, otherwise you're going to take very easy deaths. So naturally, we just spin dash jump and skip as much as possible. Alright, so here's the light shoes. And here is the light dash. And I'm going to take this right path to try and just chain my spin dashes to conserve as much speed as possible. Skip a half loop that's coming up here. Try and take it low. Alright, nice. Oh, wow, I hit the speed pad. Alright, so I'm actually going to not use pulley skip here. I'm not entirely consistent at this trick, and it honestly doesn't save that much time. I'd much rather go for the loop skip here with a slope jump and a loop speed to make that a little bit faster than it otherwise would be. And I'm running under the somersault barriers there by using storage, which is holding B. The game considers me to be somersaulting, so it just keeps me with the somersault properties. Very good game. I don't know what happened there, but I still hit the handle. An internet connection is required.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, this is, at least that happened at that moment. The game can basically randomly decide to try to connect to the Steam servers, which no longer exist, and then it brings up that prompt when it fails to connect. If that happens while you're in a critical section, like in the middle of performing a skip, that can really ruin things. So I'm glad that that happened during a section with no active gameplay.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Steam version.
Absolutely. It is the quote-unquote optimal version to run, or it's definitely the most convenient version to run, and it has some integration, so we definitely recommend it for people wanting to get into the game. It's just, yeah, if that prompt comes up at the wrong time. I've never lost a run to that, thankfully, but I know people who have lost runs to that.
Also, get ready because it's Faker Q10.
Oh my god, yeah. And then a fight where I actually will be attempting the task strat. I mean, I say task strat, but it's the same thing we're saying in StatX. It's only a task strat until people actually start doing it.
I found you, Faker.
Faker. I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be my friend. I'll make you eat those words. So if I spin dash towards Shadow at the start, okay, again.
Thank you, Steam.
And now the game's muted. That's interesting. Yeah. Because you unmute the game by pausing, but I can't pause during that screen, so I'm doing this game without volume. All right, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll get the volume back in a second.
This is a interesting run so far.
So I believe the death at the end doesn't save any time at all. It's just like a tradition, right?
Yeah, basically. Because the in-game time has already stopped at that point, and once you've killed the boss, you actually can't die yourself. So I'm not risking taking a death myself by going in the water. Yeah. Because the victory animation, the victory condition's already been set at that point. So Green Forest is definitely one of the hardest stages in the run. It has another very difficult skip in it. This one, like, CE skip is very difficult, but for the most part, you just go for it and hope you get it. But Green Forest Wall Run has a lot of technical factor involved with whether it actually succeeds. I'm going to need to get on the side of a loop, spin dash off the side of it, and homing attack into a loop speed trigger, which is the game's way of giving you speed to help you around loops. It gives you like a burst of speed and forces Sonic downwards relative to his current direction. Gravity is very dynamic in this game. Like, anytime I'm on a slope, I'm temporarily skewing gravity. So if I combine the two, I'm going to be able to fling myself sideways towards the tree. And then depending where I land on the tree, I can run up it in a certain way and try to exit it in a certain way to skip the entire tree climb and bungee climbing section, which saves around about 15 seconds. But it's extremely difficult. There's a million different ways it can go wrong, so I'm absolutely going to focus properly on this just now.
Yeah, this stage is pretty difficult in general anyway. Like, a lot of things can happen on the very long way.
Alright, so after the next checkpoint here, it's the tree run coming up. Alright, I'm gonna just give it. I didn't even get a jump there.
Yeah.
So I want to give this like at least one solid shot. I'm not sure how long I'm going to attempt this if it's not going well, but I want to give it at least one solid shot. That's too low. I'm gonna just bail out and run up. I can't use my preferred method here, which we call task run, but I can just run up and exit off the top of the tree like this.
Yeah, basically what he was gonna do if he got a better angle off the loop and landed on a different polygon on the tree, he would have just charged the spin dash, would give him a lot more extra speed to go up the tree. And instead of going up to the checkpoint, he could have just jumped off the tree with a lot of speed and landed on the platform with the next checkpoint.
Save about 3 seconds, I believe, comparing to the original.
Yeah, that was a bit of a hairy Green Forest, but I'm alive, so I'm gonna take it. Like, that stage is very, very difficult. This is a very difficult game in general. Like, getting the most out of the mechanics here and forcing some of the mechanics to work for you, it's easier said than done. Like, as I said, in most cases, there's a lot of different ways that things can go wrong, very few ways that things can go right. Speaking of more ways for things to go wrong than right, here's another RNG stage. The RNG is a little tempered in this stage, though. This is another stage with an upgrade, and the upgrade is the shovel claws, which lets us dig underground. For this reason, the game actually locks out a lot of the piece 3s you can get in this stage. The game is always going to give me a piece 3, which I need to dig underground for. So there's plenty of piece 3s throughout this stage that are just open in the air. The game isn't going to give me any of those. Okay, so this is an ambiguous piece. This can be in one of 2 spots, but because of the first piece I got, this must necessarily be at the pumpkin here, behind Pumpkin Mountain. Like, the distance is too short for it to be at the other possible location. And then, please give me the hint. Dude, hello? Straight to the other side of Pumpkin. Alright, that's a bit of a weird piece.
It's a really interesting layout, actually.
It works, though. Like, there's worse piece 3s that I could have got from there for sure, and I'm coming out with a pretty average time for the stage. Like, I'd say anything between like 40 to 45 is a pretty average time for Pumpkin Hill.
But that shows again, like, how an internet connection is required, so that's very important, but it also shows how the same hints can refer to different locations depending on if they're piece 2 or piece 3.
Yeah, there's quite a high concentration of those in Pumpkin Hill in general as well. I've had sets in Pumpkin Hill where every piece has been an ambiguous piece, which is just like, oh god, why? Like,
yeah, Pumpkin Hill is especially notorious for that.
Alright, so here's Mission Street. Tails is now going to get his own upgrade, the booster, and this is a bit of a broken item. It's the hover upgrade that lets you go over wide gaps, but if you activate the hover while you're still rising in a jump, it also gives you some extra height. It's not much extra height, but it is enough to be able to let you hit some jumps that you weren't supposed to be able to hit. Which I just fluffed up that input, unfortunately. So what I'm trying to do is pause buffer 2 A inputs as close together as possible. Since the effect of the height that you get from the hover is greater, the closer the second A input is to the first A input, so I want there to be like as few frames as possible. So for specific important hover jumps, I'm going to be pause buffering it to try and get them close together. If I'd successfully done that one, I would have been able to get on top of that weight as it was still rising. Saves an extra cycle in the stage, which comes out at around about 10 seconds. So I'm just going to be on normal first cycle pace here. I'm going to do one more pause hover to get over this cage. This is a much less demanding jump though, so I'm a little more lackadaisical on how I do that hover there. It's fine, it always works, as long as you don't massively mess it up. Shoot one enemy here as he comes down, nice. Go under the bridge here to get a zipper under the bridge. This is considerably faster than taking the top route. And now I need to break this box, trigger the weight, get the switch, and hopefully not mess this up. Alright, good, no walk of shame. That's like the worst thing imaginable, getting walk of shame there, when you don't get the height for that and you need to go all the way around.
Yeah,
you can only do that weight skip like once, because once it crashes down, it stays down.
Exactly, yeah. So building a little bit of speed off the downslope before taking a hover jump over here to cut off this corner. The upward part of this slope is not solid, so I just clip straight through that rail. If I try that on the completely horizontal surface, that part is solid, so it's actually safer to clip in higher up there. And now a little bit of precise movement through this corridor to hopefully not get slowed down here. Easy every time. It's easy! It's very, very precise, don't get me wrong. And now in this section, I'm actually letting the camera do most of the cornering for me. I mentioned that Tails can't corner effectively on the ground, but if I just use gradual direction changes and let the camera do it, I can get a lot more mileage out of the cornering than I would be able to otherwise. So yeah, it's unfortunate about missing zero cycle there, but then the standard first cycle is very easily reachable.
Yeah, it's a pretty difficult trick anyway.
Yeah. So coming up to Aquatic Mine here, the middle game is very like RNG heavy in terms of the stages. I am going to be leaning in and actually watching the intro cutscene to check for any potential free pieces, because there's several you can see throughout this cutscene here. I am playing in 4:3 though, so my field of view is narrower. Doesn't look like I've got any, but there's still a couple that I could have at the top of the stage, possibly. No? Alright.
Yeah, lots of free piece checks on this stage, and even without that, even just the movement, this is possibly like the most tech-intensive Knuckles stage in terms of movement.
There's awful RNG. Please give me a free piece here. Nope. Alright, this is looking like awful RNG for this stage. Yeah, so, Wild Canyon was really good, Pumpkin Hill was average. This is looking very bad so far. Yeah, that's not very good at all. Not much I can do about that. Please, no, we don't.
Oh yeah, that's strange.
Where the? Alright. Yeah, they can't all be good, unfortunately. That's not a very good Aquatic Mine at all. But it's highly dependent on how much traveling you need to do. If you need to go back up to the top room, which I did, sadly, and if you get any free pieces, which I didn't. So, yeah. Just coming out with a pretty bad time there. So Route 101 is a bit of a break, like in the middle of the run. It's a driving stage where there's not much to explain, other than I'm going to be snaking back and forth to try and conserve my higher speed cap. You have the normal speed cap, and then you have the boost speed cap. If I drift, once I start going down a slope, I'll be able to maintain the higher speed cap. And then, as long as I don't collide with any objects like walls or cars or stuff, I'm able to maintain that speed cap throughout most of the stage. Going up a slope will slow me down, so I'm going to be saving my boosts for after I go up a slope. But that's really all there is to explain in this stage. So if there are any donations that have come in, now is a very great time to show them. Ooh.
Daristo donated $18. This run includes the Chow Garden, right?
That's true, yes. I will definitely do the Chow Garden, I promise. Ah. Alright, so it's possible for me to optimize this stage a little bit by... I shouldn't have done that. I was about to say like going for the boost route, which I went for, which I shouldn't have gone for with my current ring count. So I actually messed up a bit there, and it will cost me a bit of time, but thankfully Route 101 is a very non-volatile stage. When we talk about like time loss in other stages, we tend to talk about it in like, you know, groups of 10 seconds, like there's certain things you can do to kill a lot of time. Outside of dying in this stage, which is possible but very uncommon, you'll only lose singular seconds in Route 101. So basically, the mistakes that I've made have turned this from being like a 214 into maybe a 215. Like, it's not going to be a big deal. So my ring route allows me to get a boost here after that big upslope. And there's a double turn here where I'm going to intentionally bonk on the wall halfway around. Although this blue car might have something to say. All right, there we go. Yeah, that's fine.
The cars, by the way, are pretty much on cycles in this stage. So if you go through the stage at the same speed every time, the cars are always going to be on the same spot.
Yeah.
So if you like make a mistake that you typically don't do and are on a different pace than usual, you're going to have to deal with the cars on spots that you're not used to.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
as long as you do everything right, these cars are consistent.
And it means as well that once you're off your planned route, there's changes that you need to make because certain parts of the later route won't work because cars are occupying spaces they shouldn't be. But yeah, this is still going to be a pretty average 215 Route 101, it looks like. Yeah, that's a low 215. The in-game timer in the left is not entirely accurate in this stage. For some reason, it shows a higher value. Like, the result screen here is going to show a much lower time.
Yeah, it always, like, subtracts, I think, 0.87 from, like, where the timer goes.
So we're entering now the trio of the pyramid stages. A lot of runners agree that these are the hardest stages in the run, respectively, for each character. Hidden Base for Tails, Pyramid Cave for Sonic, and Death Chamber for Knuckles.
Yeah, we did that section.
Death Chamber especially is very appropriately named. You'll see for multiple reasons. It can kill your run, or you can choose to die a lot in the stage. There's a lot of death in Death Chamber. There's multiple routes that I can take at this spot, exploiting out-of-bounds stuff with hover jumping. I choose to go for a pretty easy route, which still winds up being pretty fast, except I can't hover jump for now.
This jump can be very annoying to get sometimes.
Yeah, my hover jumps just aren't particularly good right now. Thankfully, after this stage, there's no more pause hovering required in the game, so I'm just going to mess up the couple more pause hovers and then not need to worry about it for the remainder of the run.
But yeah, this...
Dude!
Is it just like every time I start talking now?
Apparently. At this point, I'm considering just turning off Wi-Fi on my laptop. That might help. I've never seen it do it this much throughout a single run, though. Like, the game knows. The game knows that this is ESA.
This jump is very difficult to get, by the way.
Yeah, like that's one of the more difficult hover jumps, so I'm glad that I did get that one.
Yeah.
It's not quite frame perfect like people I used to think it was, but there's definitely not a wide frame window for it either.
Yeah, you have full frame to get it, definitely.
But yeah, this track, this stage shows a lot of how you get the extra height with the hover jump and can just make a lot of small skips here and there that you're not intended to make, and get also very easily out of bounds, which we're gonna.
I don't even pause buffer these jumps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, most runners pause buffer those jumps, but they're not that strict. As long as you get the timing right and as long as you don't miss the input, you really don't need much height to make those hover jumps work. This is, yeah, I'm going to literally disconnect from Wi-Fi after this. This is stupid.
That's so unlucky.
All right. Oh, no, the game window's going to freeze while I disconnect, and it might show the... There we go.
All right.
That's dumb. It would have to happen now. All right, we should be good.
Hopefully.
I hope so. So Pyramid Cave for Sonic is definitely the most technical stage in the run.
Yeah.
Relative to how long the stage goes on and how much there is to do, there is so much to do in this stage. Every single part of this stage is a technical trick in some shape, way, or form. Right now, I'm trying to ride a specific part of the floor texture so that the game considers me going down slopes and will force me to accelerate. 12 checkpoints still, yeah. So you can get an 11 checkpoint, but you need to be like super, super optimal. It'll basically almost never happen in a run. We bounce against the corner and the box to get a nice upward boost there. Use a spin dash hover to cross this. And now I'm going to reach Sonic's next upgrade, the bounce bracelet. And this is incredibly broken.
Yeah.
There you go. So if you bounce into a wall, the game converts your current horizontal speed into vertical speed. So however fast you were going forward, you suddenly go that fast upwards. And it is as broken as you're seeing, it's as broken as it sounds. This thing just breaks the game wide open. Nice. So that door skip is considerably more precise than it looks. You need to be standing in a very specific spot and have a lot of speed to make it through there. I'm going pretty slow here, so I'm going to take the second speed pad. Now, the other thing we can do with the bounce is also maintain skewed gravity. So I'm going to super bounce up here, and now I'm going to get on one of these snakes to skew gravity, and then bounce virtually horizontally. And since I have enough speed, I'm able to stick to the wall, and I get through there no problem. One more bounce. This rail is a bit temperamental. Yep.
Oh. Yeah, the camera angle is just like slightly off to the side, so it's really hard to hit.
That backup is about as fast as I could have done though, so that's fine. One more super bounce here, that's a bit risky, and one more gravity bounce on the side of this loop. Straight into the goal ring. Yeah, solid. 135 is still okay for Pyramid Cave. Like, honestly, within reason, I'm always grateful to just get through Pyramid Cave in one piece. That's a very, very difficult stage, and almost everything you do has some risk of death.
Yeah.
Speaking of risk of death, oh dear, this death chamber, oh boy.
Time for more RNG.
Possibly, we'll see. It depends on what my piece is.
Okay, this is the most infamous knuckle stage.
Okay, no free pieces. I'm checking for a couple of free pieces there. Okay, so this is just to the left. Pretty good first piece, actually, but it kind of depends what it gives me as my second piece. Triangle. This is in blue room. I'm actually going to just show a clip out here, because I'm not sure if it's faster to use the clip to get to blue from here or not, but it's worth showing the clip out anyway. Please, Knuckles. So if I get behind this box, I can just jump straight out of bounds and do this.
Yeah, this clip is pretty essential to routing in this stage.
Yeah.
Because it just allows you to get to so many spots, because you clip out from very high up, and then you can just get to everywhere from there.
Yeah, like the knuckle stages in this game are just, wow,
okay,
that's good.
Okay.
That's really good.
Really good, yeah.
So this looks like a really weird spot to get a next piece, but these paintings, they don't drop you off on the other side of the wall. They teleport you to a different part of the stage.
Nice.
So the distance between pieces was a lot wider there than it seemed.
Step one, that's really good.
Yeah, that's, 53 is, for Deathless, that's definitely like average to decent. So, although Aquatic Man was pretty bad, I'm definitely glad that Death Chamber wasn't particularly awful. So here's King Boom Boo. There's a relatively recent strat development here where we used to try and bait him to go towards us and then try and get under his body. It's a very advanced and involved strat. But if I'm still going to bait him, but then I'm going to try and take a specific damage boost on a fireball. And this keeps the ghost immobilized so that I can just reach that without needing to wait for the normal time to get it. I don't think I got that last frame. Okay, I didn't. If you get the ghost on the last possible frame, Boom Boo actually comes towards you instead of away from you, which is much faster for an IL, but nightmarish to go for. I thought I might have got it there because my progress towards the ghost was fairly slow, but yeah, just normal. And yeah, that's a very normal one cycle that I got there, even though it is quite precise to go for that one cycle. With very specific movement and timing, you're able to keep up with him and get all 4 hits in one cycle. So the super bounces that I mentioned in Sonic Stage, I can do the same thing here, but the bounce needs to occur before I hit a wall. These walls are very narrow, so I only have 4 or 5 frames to do each bounce here. So this is very, very mechanically demanding. This is pretty much, mechanically speaking, the hardest thing you can do in this run.
Yeah, this is one of the most difficult Sonic boss.
Yeah, I personally need like a weird like hand movement thing to even be able to pull off these inputs quick enough. But he's just doing it like any other super bounce.
Well, I'm trying to. Mileage varies. Thankfully, I only need to get 3 of these. Once 3 hits have been landed on the boss, he goes into the second phase of the fight where he head smashes me, and I can use a different strat to get the remaining 2 hits there. Wow.
Yeah, this is like the most inconsistent boss, like a lot of runs die to this.
Yeah, and my PB has a perfect egg golem, so I'm going to go for a greed bounce. That's why you don't go for greed bounces. That's why they're called greed bounces. So I'm just going to wait for the head smash hit now. And now I can do a spin-ash jump off the arm, and just see you later.
Yeah, that was like about 50 seconds, but this boss
Of course I get that bounce.
This boss can go as low as 20.
Oh, he got the trick.
I'm going to... Oh, yeah. I'm going to explain the next trick coming up first, and then donations, definitely. So this is the end game of the space stages. Eternal Engine has an extremely temperamental clip out at the start of the stage, which you only get 1 realistic attempt at. So I'm going to get to the rim first. What I need to do is line myself up so that I can approach a set of wooden boxes, jump and shoot them simultaneously to cause a metal box to fall on top of me, and if all those interactions occur correctly, it's going to push me out of bounds. But since I need to use the metal box falling on me, I don't get repeated attempts at this, not without dying to reset the stage. Nice. First try.
Really good.
All right, now you can read donations.
Anonymous donated $10. Happy birthday and best of luck on the run. Internet connection required.
I really hope this becomes an ESA meme.
Mysterious143 donated $5. Internet connection is required to read this donation.
Yeah, I really hope this becomes a meme. Thank you guys so much. I would love to become the internet connection is required guy. Alright, so yeah, we're just flying towards the end of the stage. The camera gets locked like this. I can't see where I'm going. I can only use some vague background cues. There's going to be a background structure on the right coming in here, showing me vaguely where I am. Oh, I'm really far to the left. So I'm going to need to make some adjustment. In a few seconds, I'm going to be able to hear the goal ring before I see it.
The stretch is also pretty new. I believe Hazel found it like 2 years ago now or something.
1 year.
1 year, yeah.
Okay, I went too far right and clipped back and bounce, so I'm going to need to finish the stage normally here, quote unquote. I'm actually just going to land on the platform wherever it is, because I find it much easier to target these while I'm on the platform. I find the targeting while you're off the platform really difficult.
Yeah, so usually you can hit the goal ring from out of bounds, but because you don't see where you're going, it's pretty tricky to line yourself up, so you can very easily accidentally clip back and bounce like that.
Yeah.
And even when you're doing the regular method to hit the goal ring out of bounds, it's honestly very precise and it's very easy to miss the goal ring. The floor where the goal ring is has some awkward collisions so that if you're in some certain spots, it can just push you downwards. And if you miss the goal ring, then you need to start the whole stage again. So that would have wasted like a minute and a half if I'd missed the goal ring there. So final RNG stage of the run, Meteor Herd. This is not a particularly good first piece, but we'll kind of see where it goes. Free piece check here. I don't have a free piece. Watch me get floating in front of 3 tanks when I didn't check for it there.
I don't think that can spawn with that piece.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's closer.
Okay, if I have a last piece on the ground, this is actually very good. So of course I don't have a last piece on the ground, because why would I? This is in the middle of the stage. This is okay. This is another stage, which is like, yeah, the RNG is about average.
Yeah, Jump from the Stars like by far the most common piece in that stage, and there's like 3 different variants of it.
Yeah.
And it's like very far out, that's why it spawns so often, because it doesn't collide with any other pieces in terms of its distance.
Just wanted to see if I could get the frame perfect. I didn't even break the Meteor there. What? Yeah, the hitboxes are a little weird. While Knuckles is like punching, diving, spiral uppering, your hitbox is a lot bigger than it should be. So I actually thought I missed the piece there because I didn't get the Meteor, but it was like, wait, the screen's going white. What? All right, I guess I got it. So here's Rouge. This fight is meant to be quite erratic, but if I start it in a specific way, I can just keep her locked down, keep her AI very passive, and hopefully finish the fight within 15 seconds. Best case scenario is that I get 14.69. I say best case scenario because that's a good number. I can go faster than that, but that's a worst case scenario. See?
So close.
I'm too fast, sorry.
Yeah, so unlike
Can I restart?
So unlike what a lot of people think, you don't need to mash to this fight.
Yeah. I actually think it's less safe to mash because it's more inputs, it's more opportunities to get something wrong. I don't like mashing in that fight at all.
Because you can punch accidentally or something.
Oh boy, this stage. CGSS.
So yeah, we're coming to one of the most difficult tricks in the game.
I think this is pretty much the most difficult trick in the game. I mean, Green Forest Wall Run is Green Forest Wall Run, but I've seen people get walled on this skip for minutes at a time. I will definitely let you guys take commentary here.
Yeah, so he's gonna go about 30 seconds into the stage, and from there on, there is a room where you're supposed to switch your gravity around to get to the end of it. But he's gonna switch the gravity in a direction that it's not intended to, or not intended to let you progress. And he's gonna go down here to the edge and try to spin dash out of bounds. Very nice. There's like a small gap between the kill planes out of bounds that he can make, and now he's pretty much falling towards the goal ring, and he has to do pretty much all of this blind, and he just has to orient himself based on...
Nice, really
nice, very nice.
45, that's
really
super good.
That
really
was
good.
amazing.
That's really good. I'm so glad that I got that. I don't even care about the bad parts of this run. I got C skip, I got Eternal Engine first try, I got that first try.
That was
I'm going to get Fast
incredible.
FR first try.
We'll see about that.
Before I can try any final rush skip though, I've got to do Eggman 2, and this is like the casual killer boss.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are like, how do I even beat this guy? This is how you beat this guy. I don't even care. I am not listening to your rules.
Nice flat 15.
Yeah, thanks. The best time that you can get in that fight is pretty much a flat 14, so considering I made multiple mistakes in my execution there, I'll definitely take a 15. Yeah. That's pretty good.
So you're actually going for fast FR now?
If people want it, I don't know.
Fast FR!
Alright.
Alright, I've got to give it one.
So,
I mean, alright, Mustache got it at AGDQ, so I suppose.
Yeah, we got to one-up him. Anyways, what he's going to try to do is basically throw himself into a kill plane and hope it lets you through. That's literally it.
Okay, I got the checkpoint, that's good, because that means I'll waste less time when I die.
This is a trick which is about 12% chance, so that's really
about
low.
that, yeah.
If you do it perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, most of the time that just doesn't work. If you want to see a successful fast FR, go watch the AGDQ 17 race where Mustache actually got it. What a madman. So instead I'm going to take the consistent method here where I use another skewed gravity fall to fall as horizontally as possible. I'm going in a specific direction to try and fall around all the kill planes in the stage, and then I'll just fall straight towards the goal ring. I do need to be careful here because if I fall too low, I'll connect a kill plane here. If I turn to the left too early, I'll connect with another kill plane. And if I fall too far leftwards, I'll connect with another kill plane at the end of the stage. So there's a lot that's actually going on here. I've kind of estimated my timing a little here. The problem is that if you play safe by falling longer to make sure you avoid the kill planes, you go further away from the goal ring, and you do need to have enough distance and height to make it to the goal ring at the end. But the strat that I use here is relatively lenient and gives you quite a lot of extra height, so we should be decently safe here.
Yeah.
So this strat is about 10 seconds slower than the first one he tried.
Yeah, I've got plenty of height here.
But instead of actually just going through a kill plane, he goes around one, so that's obviously a lot safer.
Yeah, this one is consistent, unlike fast FR.
Yeah.
That's been fun by Mustache about 3 years ago now.
As far as the major skips in this game go, this is like definitely one of the easier ones for runners to start learning.
Yeah.
To save a huge chunk of time. So we've just got the final boss here, Shadow 2, coming up.
Time is coming very soon.
Yeah, time is coming on the 5th hit. There's a strat where I'm going to be able to use groups of 3 homing attacks to keep him in place and just keep hitting him. The fight should hopefully be over in 16 seconds, so I'm going to be counting up as I get them 1, 2, 3, 4 time. If people want to count up with me, do feel free. Go away, Fly.
Oh god.
I'll show you the true power of chaos control. What?
1, 2,
3, 4, and time.
16-14, that's a really good Shadow 2 fight. Okay. The 34-36 is a lot better than it looks because of using emblem skip, but I'm going to pretend that that was a PB tier run because that's basically what my RTA PB is. What's up? No. I don't understand. You're ruining everything.
Yeah, you all wish this man a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you guys very much. And thank you to ESA for letting me show this run. This is the...
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Draco. Happy birthday to you.
I'm pretty sure I heard someone say happy birthday dear Langer there, so is that you? Yeah, thank you guys very much.
You're old now, Draco.
Speech.
Speech.
Run this game. Join the Discord, run this game. We've actually fixed the link so it connects to the current server rather than the old server, so you'll actually get in with all the Sonic Adventure 2 speedrunners. We love helping people out. I particularly love helping people out. I'm always happy to help anyone learn this game. Shout outs to all the SA2 runners. Shout outs to everyone making this run happen at ESA, making this event happen. Like, wow, this is just amazing. And thank you guys very much for being here to support me for this run. You guys are amazing, seriously.